That first moment of the alarm is a battle, a silent war between the warmth of the bed and the cold demands of the day. But what if the secret to winning wasn't about fighting harder, but about understanding what you are truly fighting for? The final insight I will share is the one that transforms this struggle into a gift. You will want to stay for it. Morning resistance. So many people, they come to me and they ask about this. They see the discipline, they see the training, and they ask about the physical things. But very often, the first question is about the morning. How to find the energy, how to leave the comfort of the bed when the mind and the body, they feel so heavy. It is a question that I believe everyone, no matter their path in life, can understand very deeply. The feeling of resistance. It is a force, like gravity, that seems to pull you back into the state of sleep, back into the world of dreams. And the first mistake we often make is to see this resistance as an enemy. We think it is a weakness, a flaw in our character that we must defeat with brute force. We set 5 alarms, we put the clock on the other side of the room, we try to shock ourselves into a state of wakefulness. But this is a misunderstanding of what is truly happening. The resistance is not your enemy. It is a signal. It is your body communicating with you. Your body has been in a state of rest, of repair, of deep stillness. To jolt it into action is a violence, in a very small way. It is like a still lake, and you are throwing a large stone into it. The ripples of that shock, they will carry on throughout your day. You will feel it as stress, as anxiety, as a sense of being rushed and unprepared. So the first step is not to fight the resistance, but to acknowledge it, to feel it, to understand that it is natural. You are not weak because you feel the pull of the bed. You are human. Your body is seeking what is comfortable, what is known. This is a survival mechanism, so we do not begin with a fight, we begin with understanding. The question then changes. It is no longer, how can I force myself awake? The question becomes, how can I gently guide myself from one state to another? It is a transition. Think of how the seasons change. It is not that one day it is winter and the next it is suddenly summer. There is a process, a slow, gradual unfolding. The snow melts, the ground softens, the first small signs of life appear. We must learn to apply this same natural wisdom to our own consciousness. The resistance you feel is the frozen ground of winter. You cannot command it to become a summer field. You must bring a gentle warmth to it. You must give it a reason to want to change. And that reason cannot be a reason from the outside world. If your only reason to wake up is because your job demands it, or because you have appointments, then you are beginning your day as a servant to external forces. You are already in a state of reaction, not action. The resistance will be very strong in this case, because your inner self, your spirit, does not want to be a servant. It wants to be the master of its own experience. So when you feel that heavy pull, do not get angry with yourself. Instead, just for a moment, be still and listen. What is this resistance telling you? It is saying, I am not ready for the chaos. I am not ready for the demands. I need a moment of peace before the noise begins. And if you can honor that message, you will find the key. Deeper purpose, the energy to rise does not come from the muscles. It does not come from caffeine. True, sustainable energy to greet the day comes from a single place, a clear purpose. But I do not mean purpose in a grand abstract sense, like finding the meaning of your life. For this practice, the purpose can be very small, very simple, very personal. It is the why behind your waking. If your why is simply to not be late for work, that is a purpose of avoidance. It is rooted in fear, fear of consequence. A purpose rooted in fear will never feel inspiring. It will always feel like a burden. The resistance will thrive on this kind of purpose. It will say, just a few more minutes of peace before the fear begins. You must give yourself a purpose that is a gift, not a threat. This requires a small shift in mindset that has profound consequences. The night before, or in that first quiet moment of awareness, you must decide what the gift of this morning will be. Perhaps your purpose is to have 15 minutes of absolute silence before anyone else in your home is awake. The purpose is stillness. Or perhaps your purpose is to sit with a warm cup of tea and watch the sky change color. The purpose is beauty. Perhaps it is to read 2 pages of a book that inspires you. The purpose is wisdom. Perhaps it is to do a few simple stretches to honor your body. The purpose is care. Do you see the difference? These purposes are for you. They are not for your boss, not for your family, not for the world. They are a secret, sacred appointment you have made with yourself. Suddenly, waking up is no longer about rushing to serve the world. It is about rising to receive a gift that you have prepared for yourself. The resistance begins to lose its power when it is met with this kind of invitation. It is like trying to hold a door closed when someone on the other side is not trying to break it down, but is simply offering you a wonderful meal. Your curiosity, your desire for that positive experience will be what gently opens the door. This purpose must be your anchor. When the mind begins to create excuses, as it will always do, you do not argue with the excuses. You simply return to the anchor. The mind says, "It is so comfortable here, just 5 more minutes." You do not say, "No, I have to get up." Instead, you gently say to yourself, "But the silent house is waiting for me. The warm tea is waiting for me." You are not using force, you are using a gentle pull, a lure. It is the art of persuasion with your own consciousness. Over time, your mind will begin to associate waking up not with the jarring sound of an alarm, but with the pleasant feeling of your chosen purpose. This is a deep form of self-respect. You are telling yourself that your own peace, your own well-being, is more important than the extra few minutes of unconsciousness. It is the first decision of the day, and it is a powerful one. By making this decision in favor of your own inner cultivation, you are setting a precedent for the entire day. You are starting from a place of sovereignty, of self-care. This is the fuel. Without it, you are running on an empty tank, and the journey will always feel difficult. Find your small, beautiful purpose, and the sun will begin to feel like it is rising inside of you. Mindful action. Once the purpose is clear, we must then turn our attention to the physical act of rising. And just like the mental aspect, the physical aspect must be treated not as a single jarring event, but as a sequence of mindful, deliberate actions. The way you move in the first minute of being awake can define your physical and emotional state for hours. If you leap out of bed in a panic, your heart rate spikes, your nervous system is immediately in a state of alarm, and you carry that frantic energy with you. You are teaching your body that waking is an emergency. We want to teach it that waking is a peaceful ceremony. So, the practice is this. When your alarm sounds, or when you naturally wake, the very first action is simply to turn off the alarm, and then you do nothing. You lie still for 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds. This is your first victory against the tyranny of rush. In these 10 seconds, you simply arrive. You feel the texture of the blankets. You feel the temperature of the air. You bring your awareness into the physical reality of the room. You are here, now. You are not yet in your day. You are simply in your body. This small pause is incredibly powerful. It breaks the chain of unconscious reaction. The next movement is slow. You might begin by slowly stretching your arms or your legs, but not in a rush. Feel the muscles waking up. Feel the life returning to your limbs. It is a conversation with your body. Then, very deliberately, you bend your knees and roll onto your side. Pause here for another moment. This is a very gentle position for the spine. From your side, you use your arms to slowly push yourself up into a seated position, with your legs over the side of the bed. Now you are upright, but you do not yet stand. You sit. Feel your feet on the floor. For many people, this is the first time in their day they have truly felt a connection to the ground. Let them rest there. Feel the solidity of the floor beneath you. Take one deep, conscious breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. You have now transitioned from a horizontal resting state to a vertical seated state, and you have done it with care, with intention. You have not shocked your system. You have honored it. You have moved like a master of a ceremony, not like a person late for a train. Only now, after this sequence of mindful actions, do you stand up. And when you stand with purpose. You are ready. This entire process might take only 60 to 90 seconds, but the difference in your inner state is immense. You have transformed a moment of panic into a moment of presence. You have taken what is, for most people, an unconscious and stressful habit, and turned it into a conscious and calming ritual. This is the foundation of self-mastery. It is found not in the grand gestures, but in the smallest, most overlooked moments of our lives. How you leave your bed is how you will enter your day. Enter it with peace, outer stillness. The state of your inner world is deeply, profoundly influenced by the state of your outer world. If you wake up and your first sight is a room filled with clutter, with clothes on the floor, with yesterday's work still scattered about, your mind will instantly mirror that chaos. The feeling of being overwhelmed, of being behind before the day has even begun, will take root immediately. It is very difficult to cultivate inner stillness when you are surrounded by outer noise and disorder. Therefore, the practice of waking up early and with peace actually begins the night before. You must prepare your environment. You must prepare the space into which you will be reborn each morning. This is an act of kindness to your future self. Before you go to sleep, take just 5 or 10 minutes to create a sanctuary for your morning. Tidy the room. Put things away. If you plan to have tea, perhaps set out the cup and the tea bag. If you plan to read, place the book where you will sit. If you plan to exercise, lay out your clothes. It is a very simple, practical act, but the psychological effect is enormous. When you wake up, you are not waking up to a list of chores or a reminder of yesterday's mess. You are waking up into an environment that says, "Welcome, everything is ready for you. You can be at peace here." You are removing friction. Every small decision you have to make in the morning, what to wear, where to find your keys, what to do first, consumes a small amount of mental energy. When you make these decisions the night before, you are preserving that precious morning energy for what truly matters: your presence, your clarity, your purpose. You are clearing the path so that your morning self can walk it with ease. It is like a gardener preparing the soil. The work is done before the seed is even planted, to give it the best possible chance to grow without being choked by weeds. Think of your bedroom not just as a place to sleep, but as a launching pad for your consciousness each day. It should be a place of calm, order, and intention. This doesn't mean it needs to be empty or minimalist, but it should be organized in a way that supports your peace of mind. The light you use, the sounds you hear, all of these things matter. Perhaps you have a small, soft lamp you turn on instead of a harsh overhead light. Perhaps you open the curtains to let in the natural, gentle light of dawn. You are curating your experience. You are the architect of your morning. This practice extends beyond just tidiness. It is about creating an atmosphere of stillness. It means that the night before, you commit to not leaving difficult conversations or stressful tasks for the morning. You resolve what you can, and you make a clear plan for what must be handled later. You go to sleep with a mind that is as clear as you can make it, in a room that is as calm as you can make it. In this way, the outer stillness of your environment will call to the inner stillness within you, making it far easier to access when you wake. You are setting the stage for success. Day's foundation. The first hour of your day is the rudder of the ship. The direction you set in that first hour will largely determine the course for the next 15 or 16 hours. Many people in their rush, they grab this rudder and they immediately point it towards the rocks. The very first thing they do is pick up their phone. They open up their emails, their social media, their news feeds. And in that instant, they have given away their most precious resource, their attention. They have invited the chaos of the world into their minds before their minds are even fully awake. The urgencies of others, the tragedies of the world, the demands of work, they all come flooding in. This is a recipe for a life lived in a constant state of reaction. You are not the master of your day. You are a slave to the notifications on your screen. Your agenda is set not by your own intention, but by the random inputs of an algorithm. You start the day feeling anxious, feeling behind, feeling a pressure that is not your own. This feeling then colors every interaction, every task, every decision you make. You are building your house on an unstable foundation, and when the winds of real challenge and difficulty blow later in the day, as they always will, a house built on that foundation will tremble. It will feel like it could collapse at any moment. The alternative is to protect that first hour, to guard it fiercely, to treat it as sacred ground. This hour is not for the world, it is for you. It is the time you use to build a solid, unshakable foundation for your consciousness. Whatever your chosen purpose is, stillness, beauty, wisdom, care, This is the hour you dedicate to it. You do not let the outside world in. The phone remains off or in another room. The television stays dark. The computer remains asleep. It is just you and your intention. You are pouring the concrete for your day. Imagine starting your day with 15 minutes of silent meditation, followed by a simple healthy breakfast eaten without distraction, followed by 20 minutes of reading something that nourishes your mind, followed by a few minutes of planning your day with a clear head. Imagine the person you would be after that hour. You would be calm, centered, clear. You would have a sense of your own priorities. You would have nourished your body and your mind. You would feel grounded, stable, and ready. Now, when you do finally open up your email or listen to the news, you are a different person meeting that information. You are not a fragile, half-awake consciousness that can be easily overwhelmed. You are a grounded, resilient individual. The demands and the chaos of the world will still be there, but they will land on solid ground. You can deal with them from a place of strength, not from a place of weakness. You have established your own inner state first, before allowing the outer world to present its challenges. This is the difference between being the captain of your ship and being tossed about by the waves. This first hour is your foundation. Build it well. Gentle discipline. Discipline is a word that carries a heavy weight for many people. It brings to mind images of harshness, of punishment, of a drill sergeant shouting in your face. We often think of discipline as a war we must wage against our weaker selves, a constant battle against our desires for comfort and ease. And because we see it this way, we resist it. Or we try it for a short time, with great force and aggression, and then we inevitably fail, because this kind of self-warfare is not sustainable. We burn out, we become discouraged, and we conclude that we are simply not a disciplined person. But this is a fundamental misunderstanding of true, lasting discipline. True discipline, the kind that builds monasteries and masters a craft over a lifetime, is not harsh. It is gentle. It is not a war. It is a cultivation. Think of how you would train a small child or a young animal. Would you scream at it? Would you use force? No. This would only create fear and resentment. It would break the spirit. Instead, you would use gentle guidance, patience, repetition, and positive encouragement. You must learn to treat yourself with this same wisdom and compassion. You are training your own mind and body. Be a kind teacher to yourself. This means that when you decide to wake up earlier, you do not start by trying to wake up 2 hours earlier. That is too much of a shock to the system. You would be setting yourself up for failure. Instead, you begin small. Perhaps you decide to wake up just 10 minutes earlier than usual. Just 10. This is achievable. It is not intimidating. You do this for a week or 2 weeks until it feels normal, until it feels easy. Then, and only then, do you adjust by another 10 minutes. It is a gradual, gentle process of adaptation. You are not forcing a new habit. You are inviting it. It also means that when you have a day where you fail, where you hit the snooze button and sleep in, you do not respond with anger and self-criticism. That is the path of the harsh drill sergeant. It is counterproductive. Instead, you respond with the gentle curiosity of a master. You simply observe. Today I was very tired. Today the resistance was very strong. Why was that? Did I go to bed too late? Did I have a stressful day yesterday? You look for the cause without judgment, and then you simply resolve to begin again tomorrow. There is no guilt. There is no shame. There is only the calm, steady intention to continue the practice. The strength of this gentle discipline is not in its force, but in its consistency. It is like water carving a path through stone. The water is not aggressive, but it is relentless. It is there day after day, and eventually the stone yields. Your consistency is your strength. Showing up every day, even imperfectly, is far more powerful than making a heroic effort once a month. This gentle approach builds trust with yourself. Your nervous system learns that this new practice is not a threat. Your mind learns that you will not punish it for its struggles. And in this environment of safety and patience, a deep and resilient form of self-mastery can finally begin to grow. Inner sunrise. And this brings us to the final and most essential shift in understanding. After we have learned about purpose and mindful action and preparing our environment and gentle discipline, we arrive at the heart of the matter. The ultimate goal of this entire practice is not, in fact, to wake up early. That is merely the container, the form. The true purpose, the deep and transformative secret, is to experience your own inner sunrise before the sun itself has risen in the sky. It is to learn how to wake up your awareness before you wake up your body for the tasks of the day. What does this mean? It means that in that very first moment of consciousness, whether it is from an alarm or from your natural rhythm, you have a choice. The habit for most is to immediately start thinking. Thinking about the day, thinking about problems, thinking about what needs to be done. The mind engine starts immediately, and it is loud. The inner sunrise is the practice of delaying that. It is the practice of finding the silence that exists in the space between sleep and thought. It is a moment of pure being. In this moment, you are not a manager or a parent or an employee. You are not your name. You are not your responsibilities. You are simply awareness, a presence. It is like the sky just before dawn. The world is still, the colors are soft. There is a deep and profound peace in the air. The practice is to find this same quality within yourself, to let your consciousness simply be, without attaching to any thought that arises. You just watch. You exist. This might only be for 30 seconds. It might be for 5 minutes. The length of time is not the point. The quality of the presence is the point. This is the true gift you are giving yourself. It is not about becoming more productive or more efficient. Those are byproducts. The real gift is a moment of connection with your deepest self before the roles you play and the masks you wear are put on for the day. It is a moment of profound clarity and freedom. You are resetting your entire being to a baseline of peace. You are aligning yourself not with the frantic pace of the human world, but with the majestic, unhurried rhythm of the cosmos. The sun does not struggle to rise. It does not rush. It simply unfolds in its own perfect time. The goal is to allow your own consciousness to unfold in the same way. When you can do this, when you can experience your own inner sunrise, the act of getting out of bed is no longer a chore. It is the natural next step. You are not leaving a state of comfort for a state of stress. You are carrying a state of deep inner peace out into the world with you. You have met yourself before you have met anyone else. You have filled your own cup first. This is the ultimate reason we undertake this practice. We are not just waking up from sleep. We are waking up to ourselves. The quality of your morning does not determine the length of your day, but it will determine its depth. It is a daily practice of reclaiming the very first moment, and in doing so, reclaiming yourself. It is a silent, humble, and patient path, but it leads to a strength that no outer storm can shake. It is the most quiet, yet most powerful form of self-mastery you can ever cultivate. I used to be in a constant war with my alarm clock every single morning. I thought discipline meant forcing myself out of bed and feeling miserable. After watching this, I stopped fighting and started inviting. The idea of preparing a gift for myself, a quiet cup of tea, and the concept of the inner sunrise literally changed everything. It's not about productivity anymore. It's about peace. Thank you for helping me find stillness in the one place I never thought to look, the first 5 minutes of my day.